have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. What a night! What a night! We had volatility, of course. Lots going on with the Iranian war / conflict, whatever you want to call it. So markets up and down there. Obviously, around the extent that how long it will go, some of the moves that will be made, and the impact on oil prices and potentially inflationary pressures. Sort of some of the things going on there. And of course, how it might impact particularly non-US countries that are reliant on the Strait of Hormuz. So those sort of things are playing out at the moment. Obviously, a lot of the leftist governments with the net zero policies getting exposed for their stupidity, essentially. I mean, they are pretty well dumb, right? So let's be frank about that. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. With all that in the next week or two. I'm not expecting it to be too long, actually. Negotiations are still on. They obviously had some negotiations that have fallen flat, but it looks like negotiations are still continuing with the Trump administration there, with the old cabinet meeting that was on earlier today. So they're still pushing that forward. Apparently a 10-day extension has been given. Apparently 10 oil container ships went through as a gift. So we've got all this sort of stuff going on around that. So it will all settle down, I presume, within the next 2 weeks. We've obviously got a lot of Marines there. Typically, Trump will use his military for strategic advantage, particularly cutting off the oil. And so that's kind of where I think that's all going. He's not going to do any big land invasion. That's not Trump's style. Trump is going big, going strong, going strategically, and I don't see that changing at all. And of course, I expect that to be hyper successful as it already has been. So that's kind of where we are right now with all that sort of stuff, and the markets are obviously down. So opportunity to pick up volumes here. Some people, of course, the bears expecting maybe we'll have that big leg down to 53k or something like that. Some people have 40k. I just don't see that happening. Power laws are pretty reliable. 60k, we've already hit that once. Possibly we could hit that on a flash crash. Maybe market makers there, but I just don't see it. The market's been holding up pretty well. And so, yeah, very, very strong there. And of course, 53 would be really at the bottom of that power law move. So I think that 60 touch was probably it. And we've got a lot of structural buyers coming in the market on the Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I still think we're probably going to be looking pretty good in a couple of weeks' time. April was probably the end date for any volatility and any potential bear flash crash, that one more level if that does occur. But I really just don't see it at the moment. So still feeling pretty good about where the markets are and where they're heading at the moment. So at the moment, the volatility is an opportunity to accumulate some of the good crypto majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., as well as particularly Pulsechain today. Pulsechain, of course, hitting a new all-time low today with a big volume sell. Someone sold a big amount. So we're going to check out the Pulsechain right now. So super friendly to pick up Pulse right now. Pretty crazy stuff. So I think it's something we're going to look at later on. Now we have got a lot of good news, and we're going to go through a lot of good news today. So I got most of the sort of volatility bad news out of the way because we've got a ton of good news. So typically during these bear market conditions, and we've got a switch between retail owning crypto through to the institutions. That's what we're watching happening right now during this bear market phase. And it's glorious. It truly is glorious, setting us up for it's going to be a magnificent run in crypto. So if you're new to crypto, you're a bit down in the glumps. Obviously, if you've got a portfolio and it's down, get excited because actually we got the biggest institutional takeover and rollout of crypto you've ever seen, and the value when it goes to a bull market is going to be truly glorious. So hopefully you get some uplift from the show today, because we've been showcasing it the last couple of weeks, particularly around the ETFs, the ETPs, and the digital asset treasuries, or DATs as they call them, because they're changing the game, and we've got some amazing leaders in the industry lifting the whole value for all of us. So feel very positive, even though the market's down right now. Feel very positive about that, and not financial advice, nothing financial advice on this channel. Remember to always use your own thinking cap and get your own advice. Just some of my thoughts here as I watch the markets every day. So that's kind of the play there. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, we're streaming on 3 YouTube channels. The Kryptonite Show, the Pulsechain X, and the Superman Crypto channel, 3 channels. Smash the subscribe button on the way in, hit the bells for daily videos, and of course if you're on X, don't forget to go up to the top and hit the follow button on the X profile there, and let's help grow this channel together. So yeah, the largest Pulsechain channel that is streaming daily. So pretty cool. You get all that content. Sometimes I do 2 or 3 shows. Had a little time off here and there, but not much, and it's great to be streaming, because we're getting ready for the bull market, guys. This is the kind of that last phase, and it's going to be exciting. So good times ahead. All right, so what else can we say? Let's get into the show, and let's say hello to a few people. We've got Excavator. Hey gang, good to see Excavator. Big shout out. And we got Tam Tam as well. Tam Tam there. Hello, my lovelies. Tam Tam, of course, one of the large female influencers that does some great contributions to the community, as well as giving a lot of support as well. So big appreciate that, Tam Tam. All right, let's jump into the top of the show there. So if you haven't checked out the Strategy Club, we do offer Strategy Club. It's only just over $1 a day. A fantastic way of supporting the channel, as well as getting the best information possible. If you're new to crypto, if you're busy, if you just love getting intel flows, it's the place to be. It's a great educational environment as well. So Strategy Club, pretty awesome. You can hit the QR code. It's going to take you to the Whoop store, one of the big platforms for signing up to things like social clubs. And it will then give you access to the Discord private club for Strategy Club, and intel flowing in there constantly. I mean, I put a ton of stuff in there today, and it constantly flows in during the day, so you'll always be informed with pretty much most of the major things that are going to move the market and some of the best opportunities. So great place to be in Strategy Club. Join up to there. You will find the links in the video description, or pinned to the top there of the X profile. As you can see, we've got the Whoop store there. Join the Strategy Club, and it's pretty well priced there as well. We do have a general Discord membership that's $12.50 a month. We have all the resources in there, as well as the only one apparently that has a crypto help desk, and we've helped hundreds of people in there, and we've got a great bunch of moderators that help do that. So there we go, folks. That's the socials. So join up today. See you there, and of course we've got Telegram as well. So nice. All right, let's jump into the stock market news, and let's check it out where the markets are. So obviously the stocks have slumped on fading hopes for Iran peace talks. Nasdaq in correction territory. So those talks are still going with certain parties in the Iranian regime, but yeah, some of the stuff has been rejected. And so it was always most likely that Trump was going to do some strategic takeovers there of maybe the I think it's called the Crag Island. There's another island called as well, I think, called the Struck Island or something like that. And both they basically essentially to control the oil money, basically 90% of the oil money going through there. So you turn the money off and it quickly dries up, doesn't take too long, right? So Trump's also threatened, obviously, the electrical grid. I don't see that happening because Trump wants the Persian people to take over the country. So that's just, I think, that's if I say anything was a bluff, that's a bluff. And of course, Israel's already done a few little hits on a few little things, but obviously they don't want to put the whole Persian people into darkness. The Persian people, 89% of them hate the Ayatollah regime, and they want them ultimately to get a regime change, which I think is probably well on the cards here within 3, 4, 6 weeks, somewhere in that ballpark. Obviously, the only thing that is truly remaining is the army, right? The IRGC army. And of course, they're Basil little SS guards that they go around terrorizing people. And we've seen quite a few of them get knocked out, right? There is resistant movement in Iran that's rising up. I just forget the name of it right now. But they are doing lots of stuff as well. War's pretty brutal. I think we can all agree. So there's nothing really great about it. Human life. Unfortunately, some people have bad ideas and they need to be dispelled, let's say. because they'll cause carnage, evil, right? So evil in the land, we don't need that. So that is kind of some of the stuff that's happening there. We obviously see a lot of tactical stuff happening with, was it Warhogs, I think they are, and helicopters taking along all that coast in the Strait of Hormuz, and of course destroying all the mining, the ocean mines that were being dropped by drop ships, and they're taking all those out, right? So, and demining the strait so that they don't get blown up. Also, a lot of small ships, so they're trying to tidy up that Strait of Hormuz, and I think that's probably looking pretty close to it. I did see something about the state secretary talking about potentially that would be fully open tomorrow. So we'll keep a lookout for that. We're definitely in a volatile times. We'll get good news and bad news. And of course, this affects all the scenarios. If you think about scenarios of bad outcomes, and so the market gets more volatile if it goes down if it thinks that these scenarios are bad, like there's more scenarios are bad. It goes up when it thinks there's the scenarios are getting better, right? So peace or something like that. So we're going through all those ebbs and flows there at the moment. All right, so we've got the Dow Jones is down 1%, so pretty decent there. 469 points to 45,960. S&P 500 down 1.75 points, so pretty big day there. Down 115 points to 6,477. The Nasdaq at the moment is down 2.4%, so big day there. 521 points to 21,400. Now, here's the other thing that's happening right now with the stock market, because obviously they're down, is that a lot of the PE ratios, their price to earning ratios, are now back like 10 years ago. So now there's a lot of opportunity in the tech stocks and other stocks because they've been pushed down so much. So a heck of a lot of opportunity there. Maybe there's going to be even a bit more than that. So we'll see. But certainly good buying for what is fundamentally the same stock. So yeah, I think there's going to be quite the rebound if we get any certainty. Rebound's going to be pretty aggressive, guys. I still think that we're going to head way higher under the Trump era with all the investment from last year as we get this short-term issue over around the oil prices, etc. I think we're going to have quite the run, guys. I think GDP is going to be high, manufacturing is going to be high, and looking really strong there. Remember, the United States is a net exporter, so really it's a lot of these other countries, China, India, Japan, the European Union. These are the countries that are being really affected by the Strait of Hormuz. And of course, all the net zero madness that's the progressives on the left have put into most of the countries in the West, right? So New Zealand, Australia, Canada, UK, Europe, those sort of places, have really been, showing up there. So that's kind of the play. I don't know if you guys remember Germany, just as a side story. Germany getting rid of all the nuclear power stations. Remember that madness? It was absolutely utter madness. When I saw them decommissioning them. Just madness, and some of them were brand new. They were 2-3 years old, and they decommissioned them. And then, of course, they got into conflict with Ukraine and Russia, and then suddenly they had to buy gas from Russia, right? And they had taken out all the nuclear power stations. Madness. I just want to show how clearly stupid, globalist Marxist progressives are. They are that stupid. And so they reap what they sow, right? They reap what they sow, and people that vote for them reap what they decide to vote for. So definitely bad things happening there. All right, so we've got all that going on at the moment. The VIX is up 8%, so that's the volatility index, up 2 points to 27, and we got that. So that's pretty, getting pretty high up there. Head towards 30. And then we've got the US dollar at the moment, still not over 100, interestingly enough, and so still at 99.74, but up a little bit. But when Trump came in, that was 108. So US dollar still not a complete flight yet to that, seen as safety there at the moment. But definitely from an economy point of view, definitely the most safest economy in the world, easily right now. Commodities, we've got West Texas at $93.84. That's up 2/3%. We've got Brent oil there is down. Sorry, they're both down. Sorry, slightly, and that's down 6 cents to $101. So still over $100 on the Brent oil. So still quite elevated there. Let's look at the 6-month chart for Brent oil. Now remember, depending on where you are around the world, there's going to be different oil prices. Obviously in America, we're used to West Texas and Brent oil, but if you're in Asia, there's different prices like that, right? So and those prices will reflect a lot of the constriction in the markets and the oil flows through the world from the source through to the refiner and through the end market consumer. So there's a lot of different things happening there. So yeah, we're over. We had a spike there, so we've been as high, around about $120, but we're down. We rose from about $70. So and of course, December last year we were at $59. $60. Let's just around at $60. So we're up still about $41. But what I suggest to you is when this is over, and it could potentially be in within 2 weeks, let's say, this we could see the oil price come down to $60 or less. I mean, it really is that potential for that in due course. So we'll see. Obviously, with not a lot of net exporters out there, they will take more of the market share for the interim as well. And as long as the Iranian stuff's not not blowing up, which it's not at the moment, then the output should still be there, which I think's around. I'm just trying to remember, is it either 3 or 5%? Can't remember how much the Iranian is, but somewhere in that ballpark. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Gold at the moment is at 4,400. So boy, that's come down a lot, hasn't it? So let's go to the last. Gold was all the way up here back in January, the end of January. Let's say beginning of February at $5,600, and now it's 4,400. Boy, how times have changed there. And silver as well was all the way up here, close to $100, and now it's $67. So it's down $33. A lot of things changed there. And I did say, regardless of the fact that we've got a special event on here with the Iranians, that to take profits during that time, and that was absolutely right. You can see that in the chart. So there we go, some good stuff there. All right, so that's some of the stuff happening with commodities. Obviously, we talked about Trump there, some of the things he said, speaking at the cabinet meeting today. He said, I don't know, he said Iran is begging to make a deal. Now, Iran's probably fractured right now, so there's probably a bit of, the leaderships, because they've taken out the top leaderships that they're probably getting down to, and there are a lot of people hiding and running and trying not to get killed. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. They do have, still control centers and stuff like that probably the Americans haven't taken out. We saw that one of those yesterday, I think, was taken out with the head of the Strait of Hormuz, doing, the one that was locking that down. That whole thing was taken out, and all the leaders there. So there's still other secret little control places. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. I don't know if we're willing to do that, says Trump. They should have done that 4 weeks ago. Shortly after closing the bell, Trump posted on social media that, as per the Iranian government's request, he was extending the suspension of U.S. attacks on Iran energy infrastructure for another 10 days. Now, I don't really see him doing that, so he's giving more time. But talks are ongoing, and despite erroneous statements to the contrary by fake news media and others, they are going well. So they're still trying to keep these dialogues open. And some of the Iranians would definitely be wanting to make a deal. Other more diehards are probably fighting against them. So there's probably some infighting going on between the extreme radicals and the radicals that want to survive another day. Going to make another day there. So that's kind of it. So the market is slowly is not I would say less believing Trump at the moment. Not because of where Trump might head with it, but because we've got this no deal's been done. So the market's getting a little bit less supportive of the calming of Trump, as it says. But in a week's time, maybe there's a peace deal done, or maybe control has been secured for the Strait of Hormuz, and it's all over. They don't really care. The market doesn't really care what else is going on in Iran, as long as there's no nuclear bombs taken off, or rockets hitting other places, and the oil. Most of all, oil is the key part there, is under control. So the Strait of Hormuz gets controlled, which is what the Americans are trying to do at the moment. So we might see a little island invasion. We'll see with the Marines. So that's kind of the play right now. So let's see where it all heads. So that's kind of it with the stock market there and the economic news. All right, let's jump over into the crypto. How's the crypto responded? Obviously, stock market's down, or crypto market is also down. And crypto market there, let's go a refresh here. We've got quite a bit of news here. All good news, actually. The majority of good news coming in, and constantly good news coming in for crypto. Of course, in the short term, the prices are down or up. Depends on the day. We've got the market cap at 2.43 trillion right now, down 3.5%, so decent day down. We've got Bitcoin at 68,588, so it's down quite a decent amount, 3.9%. Ethereum at 2,059, down 5.1%, so still over the 2K psychological mark, but below that 2,200 mark we're trying to get over. BNB at the moment down 3% at $227. XRP at number 5 down 3.9%, $39. Number 7 is Solana down 6.1%. Obviously a big leverage move there on Solana, $86. Tron there is down 1% at 31 cents. Figure Helic at $1.02 down 0.6%, and number 10 is Doge down 4.3% at 9.2 cents. So those are the majors. They're all down. And I guess it's Tron that's the best performer relative to that, or maybe Figure Alec, it depends on who you look at that. And over the last week, Tron is the best performer, up 2.5%. Looking at the top 100 over the last week, we got Siren still, down 24% today. I mean, you got to get used to that, but up 113% for the week. Potenza Tau up 25% for the week there, also benefiting from some of its AI technical achievements as well as the NVIDIA interview, if you saw that. Mean-Core is up 18% for the week, but down 14% today. Artificial Superintelligence is up 13%, down 6% today. And number 5 is Aptos, up 9%, down 3%. So those are the top 5 in the top 100 on CoinGecko. Top 1,000 gainers, we've got Trillions. It's almost up Trillions, up almost 6,000%. So I don't know what's going on there, but with this crypto, we've got SafeBit there as well, up 28%, and Unitas there, up 24%. Those are top gainers in the top 1,000 there. Let's have a look at that Trillions chart, because it says it's up 6,000%. So I don't know what they're talking about there, but it looks like it's basically started from nothing. So it looks like brand new. Is it brand new? Possibly there. Crazy stuff. All right, so you might want to check that out. That is Trillions, see what's going on there. Trending overall, we've got Rain, we've got BitTensor, and Backpack. Of course, Backpack is one of the wallets for Solana SVM chain. Also, you can use it for X1 chain as well. So that's a Backpack there. It's a decent wallet. Obviously you want rich features in a wallet, but you also want it to be pretty intuitive to use, And I think one of the most intuitive ones that I've dealt with so far is probably Rabby Wallet, but they no longer fully support, Pulsechain, which is a bit of a nav. But don't worry, we've got more wallets coming. We got Ramp Now wallet coming. We got Liberty Swap wallet coming. I mean, it's going to be awesome. And Liberty Swap's going to be with all the privacy features as well. Very well. We're going to talk about that later on. That's pretty bullish. We've got some more comments in the chat, so let's get to some of those. We've got Wookie in the house. Hey, Wookie, good to see you. We've got Duke of the Booze. Cheers, everybody. Hey, good to see you, Duke. Frank White in the house as well. Bang, bang, Pulse Gang. Hey, good to see you, Frank. And, of course, Manitok in the house there. Good day and evening all. A nice one there. A couple of nice members there. All right, so let's jump over to the Bitcoin. We're going to get into some of the good news. So even the markets are down, we've got some good news. And let's have a look at the Bitcoin chart at the moment. We've got this new sort of channel here. We're coming down to the bottom of this channel. Remember, the 50-day moving average on Bitcoin is at 71,900. Obviously, we want to get over that in the future, and we're at the bottom of the range right now at 68,700. So it's kind of where we are with the old Bitcoin chart. The 200-day moving average is at 85,900, and in context, we're still playing out this death cross at the moment, so that has not finished yet. So to be balanced, the power curve law says potentially we could go down to 60. We've already been to 60, but if we have a flash crash on something, I don't know what that would be, but if we have a flash crash there, 60K, that would take us down to about here again, which would mean, if we did do that and we didn't keep going up this channel, where's the ruler gone? If we didn't do that, then that's a potential retrace of about 12.5%, right? Now, at the very bottom of the power law rule, or floor as they call it, is 53. So that would be 22% down, but that would probably be short-lived and then back up again. So those sort of give some balance to the conversation. That's kind of the bearish scenario. However, I'm still feeling pretty good about the range we're in right now, and that we're pushing higher. So it would have to be quite something negative, something that something that was unexpected, that was happening potentially in the Iranian war, that went against the Americans. So far, everything is going for the Americans. It's been an incredibly efficient and effective blow, taking out largely most of the major assets of the Iranian regime, and now they're basically on a hunt and destroy mission, destroy the remaining tunnels that may not have been aware of, etc., things like that. So and of course mopping up and trying to deal with the RGC and a possible either a peace deal with more moderates or a regime change just through the revolution of the people over time. So the longer it goes on, the weaker the Iranians get. And so that's why they want to make a deal. If you're wondering why would they make a deal, well, the longer this goes on, the more the whole system starts breaking down, and they're facing two fronts. Remember, not just the Americans and the Israelis, potentially even some of the Arab states around the Middle East, at least 5 of them, and also the Iranian people themselves. So that's very different from other conflicts. You've got 80-90% of the people wanting to get the regime out because they've had it for 47 years of oppression. And just this year alone, the Iranian regime killed tens of thousands of their own people. So, people don't like, the people don't like it when they're killing them, they're being killed, right? So it's a battle of two fronts. And we know how that turned out for the Nazis in Europe, right? Two battles on two fronts. They didn't win that, did they? So got to be very careful there. Or not. We got Craig in the house. Hey, morning all. Good to see you, Craig. Big shout out. Welcome. All right, so that's the Bitcoin, but let's have a look at the news. So we've got a lot of good news. So we got Michael Saylor here on earlier today. So let's play this video. And this is on the Stretch product. So the Stretch product is a preferred stock yield. Equity product that's targeting the money market and bond market and traditional markets. It's basically a massive vampire attack. And it's using interest rate differentials. So in other words, offering very high rates, 11.5%, versus low rates, 3-4% for the money market, bond market. At best, in the private credit market, you might get 8.5%, but it's very illiquid. It's got a lot of issues around the terms and conditions, lots of things like that. So offering a pretty amazing rate, 11.5% at the moment. It is dynamic, can move to the market, but that is a game changer. And hundreds of trillions of dollars potentially could flow into the markets over time. Well, certainly billions and billions, and that's all you need to start lifting the market there. So let's hear from Michael Saylor about Stretch, and we'll get into that. So it goes ex-dividend on the 15th. So it's been about 10 days, and as I'll show you on another picture here, it's actually starting to raise capital again and buy Bitcoin. So it's like the iPhone moment for Bitcoin. That's what people are describing it as. Could be pretty crazy. So let's have a look at from Michael Saylor, the founder of Strategy there, and the Stretch product.
Is the biggest Bitcoin treasury company in the world, and it's been on a Bitcoin buying spree, amassing a whopping 45,000 coins over just the past 30 days, the fastest pace of accumulation since April of last year. That, according to data analytics company CryptoQuant. In order to double down on its wager on crypto, the company laying out a plan to issue $42 billion in common and preferred shares. With 4 trading days left in March, Strategy is on track to snap an 8-month losing streak, but the stock still down about 70% from its 52-week high. It's volatile like Bitcoin. Bitcoin, by the way, in the same period, down about 40%. Joining us now for an exclusive interview on set, Michael Saylor, co-founder and executive chair of Strategy. Really appreciate you coming out to New Jersey, Michael. Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Okay. So the volatility, crypto's fallen over 50%, I think minimum of 10 times. If you are invested in crypto, you have to have a bit of a thick stomach, correct? Like, deal with volatility. The same thing has been true of your stock and your new stock, STRC. You call it Stretch. Are you trying to strip some of that volatility out with that equity?
Yeah, the idea is to create an on-ramp for people that believe that Bitcoin's going to be around for the long term, but they can't handle the volatility in the near term. So the idea of Bitcoin is you get on a roller coaster and you're expecting 30% or more, but you got to hold it for a decade. The idea of Stretch is we're going to strip the first 10 to 11% of that return. We're going to pass that to the credit investor. Our equity investors accept the excess volatility, they over-collateralize it, they get the excess performance. So STRC is a preferred stock that pays a monthly dividend. It's about 11.5% annualized right now. It's way over-collateralized. The bet of the company Strategy is Bitcoin will go up more than 11% a year, and our equity holders are going to make a fortune. And the bet that the credit investor is making is Bitcoin's a real legitimate thing, but I want to get paid 11% and ideally defer the taxes.
11% is a huge number as a dividend, effectively. You know there are people watching and listening right now that are saying, they're using my initials, BS, in vain, bull, pucky, right? How is 11% possible? That is a big number.
Okay, Bitcoin's up about 37% a year for the past 5 years. That's the slowest it's ever grown. Our company Strategy is up about 55%. We've levered that Bitcoin. The bet is Bitcoin is going to outperform the 11% over the next decade. Now, if Bitcoin outperforms the 11%, then our company equity is making a lot of money. if Bitcoin performs if it's up 2% a year, all it needs to be is 2% a year, we can pay those dividends forever, Brian. And if Bitcoin...
If just up 2%.
Because we're sitting on a mountain of equity. We're sitting on more than $50 billion of Bitcoin as collateral. So Bitcoin only needs to go up 2% a year for us to pay the dividends forever. The equity, MSTR, wouldn't make as much money, but the credit's fine. If Bitcoin goes up 0% a year, then in 50 years, we got to figure something out.
So private credit has been two bad words lately. You know that, right? You look at Ares, KKR, Blue Owl, Apollo, some of these funds, private credit, all the cracks, blah, blah, blah. Does your then private digital credit, I think is a fair way to say it, does that run alongside private credit, or is it meant to supplant private credit?
But if you're the investor that you want a credit instrument that pays you double-digit yields, normally you had to go after something like private credit, but the price you paid was illiquidity. It's not liquid, and it's...
They have your money, you can't do it. You give it to me back.
Heterogeneous. It's like 1,000 different investments, it's illiquid, and they're going to lever it a bit to try to give you a 8% or 9 or 10% return. What we've done is taken the world's most liquid asset, Bitcoin, which is global capital, very volatile, and then we built a credit instrument where the idea is, let's make it extremely liquid, let's make it double-digit return, let's make it homogeneous. The credit, the underlying collateral of STRC is Bitcoin itself. So you can assess the credit risk of STRC every 15 seconds by looking at the price of Bitcoin move.
And how does it trade relative to Bitcoin then? You said you wanted to strip out the volatility.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
If you go back to October 6th, Bitcoin hit an all-time high of
127.5 or whatever it was, yeah.
And it's down about 45% since then. STRC is flat at $100 plus or minus a nickel. And so we have stripped all of the principal volatility out of the instrument. In fact, Bitcoin's been about a 55 vol asset for the past 30 days. STRC is a 2 vol asset, right? And so we have actually, by creating a volatility of 2 or less, we've created a product with a Sharpe ratio of 3 to 5.
Okay. Is it fair, then am I offending you if I called it a money market fund in some way? Is that offensive?
No, it's meant to be like a money market, a digital money market-like instrument that pays you double-digit yields in the form of a return of capital dividend.
Why not offer the yield at 6%? Those are still big numbers. Why 11?
We actually adjust the dividend rate every single month based upon market feedback. So in a month, like in a bear market where Bitcoin is trading down and the credit is looking weaker, we will adjust up the yield. And in months where it's too strong, we can adjust down the yield. So the idea is a monthly variable rate dividend so as to stabilize the instrument around $100.
So that yield could go down?
It could go down over time.
Yeah.
But it would only go down over time if we thought that there was too much demand for the instrument and we didn't want the market to overheat, because we want the instrument to trade around $100.
Is the concept of digital credit, again, I'm going to go back to this point about private credit, is it meant to sort of eliminate the current system, work within the current system, or be an add-on to the current system?
We've really created a digital credit instrument that's integrated with the existing securities market. It's created as STRK, floating on NASDAQ, trading $200 to $250 million a day, issued by a public company. So we're using public securities. We're using public markets like NASDAQ. You can hold it in your 401k. You can trade it via Schwab or your favorite retail account.
Yeah.
In fact, 80% of Stretch is held by retail investors. And so it's meant to be a retail product that's really easily accessible by anybody, but it's built on top of a crypto asset, Bitcoin. And so for people that they believe that Bitcoin is a thing and they want to get heightened performance, but they want it to be quick and easy, and they don't want to worry about the custody risk, or they don't want to set up with
is that why because I'm trying to figure out, why does this have to be a stock? Why does this have to be a public equity? Is it because you want people to be able to buy it from their Schwab account?
Yeah, well, if you want to create hundreds of millions of dollars of liquidity and be able to buy it from your Schwab or Fidelity or Morgan Stanley
It has to be a
account,
stock.
it needs to be a publicly traded stock. And in fact, when we did it, a friend of mine said, you better make it a 4-letter ticker. It needs to be STRC. It can't be 5 letters. You don't want an over-the-counter credit instrument with a QSIP where you need a Bloomberg to find it. You need to make it very, very simple and easy for everybody.
And what is the number one question? I know you presented about an hour ago in New York City. What is the number one question you're getting about STRC?
Well,
What did I forget to ask?
It's how do you actually create this thing? It sounds too good to be true. And
11% is a big number.
yeah, and the number one, why haven't I heard about this before? And the answer is because until Bitcoin was acknowledged as digital capital, and until we built a large enough equity capital base to be able to collateralize it, you couldn't have created this instrument. It was, we did 4 other preferred stocks before we hit on this one, and we did dozens of other.
The crypto infrastructure simply wasn't there, wasn't sufficient to hold up the building, so to speak.
You needed a really big publicly traded company with $50 billion of digital capital on its balance sheet and a lot of equity in order to create this sort of instrument.
Michael Saylor, really glad that you're on set with us today. Important conversation.
So there's Michael Saylor, and this is truly, well, that was 8 minutes long, but this is so worth it because this could be very well the iPhone moment for Bitcoin with this stretch product, as obviously they've made others. But in the last month, this has really started to ramp up, and that 11.5% over collateralized with Bitcoin, $50 billion versus the money market, bond markets, private credit markets, which is hundreds of trillions of dollars, is a game changer. And of course, all this money will, once it goes over $100 on the equity for stretch, they can raise money at the market and raise new shares. So issue new shares there and drive the price back to $100, and all that money they raised goes to buy Bitcoin. So it's just a ATM machine really for buying Bitcoin, and it is really stepped up in the last month. Only launched the end of last year, I think in the third quarter. I think it was maybe August, somewhere like September, and it's really picked up the last month now that rates have been gone up to 11.5%. So it could be absolute game changer, basically vampiring the credit markets and offering people a really good yield. I mean, unbelievable yield. So imagine if you're in retirement, you're earning something like 11.5% every month. It's a game changer rather than 1, 2, 3% in the bank, for example. So that is the big deal there. So really great news, guys. This is a mega deal. This is huge. I cannot say it big enough, and we're going to keep watching this produce. Now, it takes about 10 days after the goes ex-dividend on the 15th to get back to $100. So it always discounts to about $50. Obviously, we've had quite negative news with the Iranian conflict, but look, it's really doing amazing stuff. So here's an animation, and I think this is really cool. Watch 8 months of stretch in 30 seconds. The orange bars, that's the ATM machine running at the market. That means strategy selling shares above par and converting every dollar into Bitcoin. So think about that. Millions of shares pouring through in a single day. 2.2 billion raised so far, 29,600 Bitcoin accumulated, and it's just really a takeoff phase over the last month. All from this mechanism today marks a recovery number 6 out of 8 ex-dividend period, so 9 days trading. So amazingly fast there. But let's have a look at this animation. You can see from when it launched. So it's pretty huge. So watch the little orange bars at the bottom there, because those are the ones that will be showing up with Bitcoin being bought. So obviously when it's below $100, they don't raise any capital, and so there's no Bitcoin bought, no capital raised, no Bitcoin bought. But when there is, it goes. You'll see the orange bars at the bottom there. So you can see it ticking away. The yields have gone up over time, right? And watch it hit $100. So that's that top line. This top line is $100 here. You can see how that day they bought some Bitcoin. They were above, so it was kind of cool. So you see where they hit $100 or more, they raised all this money to buy capital, buy Bitcoin, and watch it go. That's November last year. And it only really picked up this in the last month. So look at the orange candles there, all buying Bitcoin. And of course, this was March here. Look at that. Woo! Look at that. And of course, the last week there. So we just started back buying Bitcoin again. And this last week that they did big Bitcoin buys was 1.1 billion US dollars raised to buy Bitcoin. And they ended up along with their equity, their strategy issuance, they ended up buying 23,000 Bitcoin in that week, 1 week. Unbelievable numbers. So where's this going to go? Well, it's just potentially way up high, way higher. So we're going to be watching that over the next couple of months. Could be absolutely huge. This provides structural support for Bitcoin. This is bringing capital into crypto. And generally that will slush around later on, amongst a lot of the other crypto chains as well as altcoin season, right? That's kind of the idea there. So huge, as you can see, pretty amazing stuff. All right, so that's kind of what's been happening with that. So we sort of talked about that. Let's get into the stuff. Actually, I'm going to talk about that later on. That's Richard Hart, so that's in the wrong place. Now, we do have other stuff going on right now, right? So we've been obviously seeing, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock getting into Bitcoin and Ethereum through ETFs and staking ETFs for Ethereum. This has been super bullish. So we've got ETFs bringing in a lot of institutional corporate money. And then we've got digital asset treasuries like Strategy bringing in capital as well through innovative products like Stretch, targeting the private sector, credit markets and money markets. But we also have a lot of innovation happening, right? So we've just had Coinbase just announced it will crypto-back mortgages for over 100 million Americans. Buy and own a house without selling your crypto. So we got all this innovation tapping into the real estate market and, of course, allowing people to really get involved in crypto. Pretty awesome stuff. So some nice stuff happening there. And, of course, a lot of these accounts, a lot of these platforms out of the US, like Coinbase, Robinhood, etc., they're really trying to become some sort of kind of banks, but bigger than a bank, trading everything. I mean, they're much bigger, and they'll have to do things a little different as well. But very exciting where it's all heading. So that is Bitcoin right now, sitting at 68,800. But we actually have a lot of good news happening right now, right? So it's actually underlying really good news for the medium long term, right? So I'm feeling very good about that. And the innovation continues there. So on the Ethereum front at the moment, on the daily, we're currently at 2,067. So we're still at that psychological level at 2,067. We got the 50-day moving average at 2185. So we obviously want to get over that to move forward. And of course, the 200-day at 2766, which is obviously going down with where we are. Now we're kind of almost back in the middle of our range here, slightly higher. And obviously that's the scenario that we've got right now. Now the downward scenario would be $1,500-$1,600 probably. Obviously if we ever break that, we're going down $1,200-$1,300, but $1,500-$1,600 could be the last leg if we do the bear scenario. Other than that, we've already been to Tom DeMark's 1742 is a big timing guru, and we already hit that. So at the moment we're still in this range. We almost tried to escape. We haven't got escape velocity yet. But could happen anytime. As you guys know, if we get enough good news over the next week or two, then that could move us up quickly. We get market makers, giving us some of the best days of the year. Now, in saying that, even though the price is down right now, the fundamentals are unbelievably good right now. So we've got record transactions on Ethereum. We've got record tokenization, and it's all happening. Stablecoin have still been pretty productive. We're going to see what that looks like around the Clarity Act as it evolves. We could see some innovation there, trying to overdo the Clarity Act, where the banks kind of won on the static yield. But we do have active yield, and that's where we might see innovations there outdo that static sort of balance. So we're going to look out for that in the future. But certainly something that is hit companies like Circle, for example. Now let's have a look at some of the bullish things for Ethereum. So even though the price is down, what are we seeing on exchanges, guys? Massive reductions here. Now, sometimes these reductions can reflect maybe when an exchange data is not uploading. But at the moment, we have a big fall here. So I'm not quite sure what's caused that, whether it's a fundamental removal off the exchange, and it does look like that, or whether sometimes it can be because data is missing off one of the main exchanges. But here at the moment, we've dropped all the way down from 15.8 million ETH on exchanges. So 15.8 million all the way down to 15. So 800,000 Ethereum has gone off the exchange based on this, assuming there's no glitch with any of the exchange data there, which is a big move down 15. Now, remember, we come back here to June 30 last year, which is when Bitmine Immersion started buying up all the Ethereum, right? We were up at 20.9, so basically 20, let's just say 21 million. So essentially we're down about 6 million on exchanges over the last 9 months. So down 6 million. I mean, it's quite dramatic. 21 down to 15, and that's a really bullish thing, right? So less, because basically the ETH's not there to sell, at least on the centralized exchanges. So pretty big deal. The other big bullish things, not only have we got less ETH to sell on exchanges, and of course we've still got Bitmine Immersion buying up a lot of the ETH, right? So they're still heading towards their 6 million. They bought, I think, 4.7 million so far, and so they've still got about 1.3 million to buy. Give or take, maybe a bit less than that now because they just bought another 117,000 ETH over yesterday, and that is maybe about 1.2, let's say 1.2 million left to buy, and it's getting harder to buy ETH. So obviously they're going to still try and buy on the markets at cheap prices. We've got cheap prices right now, so it makes sense. They can buy off the market, but also they could buy some of the other smaller DATs, digital asset treasuries, that are no longer buying, right? Which is virtually all the others, just about. So that's kind of where we are. So bullish there with the ETH coming off the exchanges. And of course, obviously prices down, so people not wanting to sell, at lower prices. So it's probably part of it too. And so when we get price rebound, maybe the ETH pops up there, but certainly disappearing. Where else is ETH disappearing? Well, it's disappearing in the supplied staked ETH, right? So we know Bitmine Immersion at the moment, the #1 digital asset treasury, basically the similar entity to Strategy on Bitcoin, is staking all their ETH, right? So they staked another 100,000 ETH the last update. And they're at now just over 3.1 million ETH, right? And they're going to stake virtually all of their ETH, so they're up 4.7, 4.8 million ETH. They're going to stake the rest of it, and it's pretty huge. And of course, yesterday we heard, or 2 days ago we heard, that they launched Maven, their staking protocol, and so now that is on as well. So very excited about that. That's going to be pretty bullish. So as you can see, if we go to the 90-day from the all chart, you can see we're really climbing here. We're up at 31.35% now. Staked, which is fantastic, right? So huge numbers, and we look at the amount that's staked is 38.1 million ETH. Remember, there's about 21 million ETH approximately, so that's huge. Now we do have slightly net inflation under EIP 159 because the volume's not high enough, but once the volumes get up a certain height, we'll have deflation on Ethereum too, so that will be something to look forward to later on. But certainly all the ETH is moving off exchanges, is getting staked in the staking queue. And at the moment, how much ETH is in the staking queue? Well, there's a lot. There's a lot in the staking queue, which you can see up here. There's 2.8, almost 2.9 million ETH in the staking queue. Pretty crazy numbers, right? The height of this was 4 million. Of course, Bitmine Immersion is helping drive all the ETH going in here. And they've still got, like I say, another 1.2 million to buy. And they've still got already, with existing ETH, they've got what, about 1.6 million to stake, and then they've still got to buy another 1.2 million stake there. So think about it. It's a huge amount that's going to continue on here at the staking. So Ethereum is disappearing as we speak here off exchanges and into staking. Hyper bullish, guys. Hyper bullish. On top of that, we have BlackRock BlackRock just announced their ETH-B staking, and that staking in particular is going to be people, institutions and corporates buy ETH, and then they stake it for the staking yield. So they're going to be wanting to stake their ETH too, and we're seeing a lot of other products come out in the market also wanting to stake ETH. So this number is going to probably continue to climb. ETH is going to continue to disappear off the markets, and I suspect even with price rises that we're going to see an overall trend of the ETH on exchanges decrease as well. That's obviously going to take time. Obviously, if prices rise, ETH will come back on. That's sitting in people's wallets and things like that. But keep a lookout for that as well. Obviously, well in the future, as ETH does go on the upside of price, we will see some unstaking from some individual players, but not from a lot of the digital asset treasuries, right? They're in here for the long game unless they decide to exit their whole position. But essentially, Bitmine Immersion's here to stay, and they're heading up towards 5%. So, and they're probably, look, if we get other DATs selling, then they'll probably do deals over the counter deals with Bitmine. Bitmine technically could go up to about 12% of the market. and not impact the network effect on the market. So, and Tom Lee's talked about that they could potentially go up to there. So even once they get the 55%, which is 6 million and 34,000 ETH, I think it is, they could potentially go to 10%, and it's 12 million ETH, guys. Think about this, right? And I think they'll still be fairly comfortable doing that. Obviously, it's going to be a lot harder if ETH is up at 12,000, 20,000, because, as they get to these targets of 5%, the ETH price is probably going to be, 12,000, 20,000. So when you hear Tom Lee talking about it, it's because he's helped making it happen, right? He's helped making this happen, and it's a big deal. So that's some pretty insightful stuff there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We've got a few more people in the chat. Only Crypto, hey, Superman, got some bullish news for us. Well, yeah, we've got non-stop bullish news today. We have had for weeks, despite this bear conditions. The fundamentals are looking outstanding as we pivot from retail controlling crypto to institutions controlling it. So just remember that is the opportunity gain and the opportunity cost, right? Because, when institutions get in there, it's you get some of the trading stuff too, right? 2028 bull run now, says Only Crypto. Well, I'm feeling a lot more bullish than 26, 27, 28. I think I'm feeling very good about crypto all through that period. And Tom Lee talks about it being a 10-year move. So if you don't mind going through the volatility, it could be just unbelievable, life-changing gains. And this is where the millions of dollars are made. So depending on how much you got, what you're holding, and this is where the big money's made, guys. And you just got to stomach the volatility. Fast Abdul in here. I'm in here for the tech. Big shout out, Fast Abdul. And talking about some of the big protocols on Pulsechain, Vault 369's coming. That's one of the heavyweights, so we're looking forward to that, Fast Abdul. And exciting times to Vault 369 coming up. Pulsechain needs all the heavyweight protocols on there as it can, and Fast Abdul's been adding those with those modified liquidity forks, multi-chain, multi-collateral. Exciting times ahead there, I'm sure. Right, so that is that's the bullish news there. Have we got any more? Yeah, we got more. So we're going to finish with a big one, and that is the Clarity Act. Obviously, the banks kind of ended up winning the yield thing, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We've certainly means more bullish for DeFi yield. So yeah, maybe centralized exchanges or at least stablecoin issuers like Circle get punished a little bit. But look, there may be some innovation that they do around active yield. So we'll keep a lookout for that. After all, this is crypto with the land of innovation. But DeFi is definitely going to benefit, right? So any DeFi yield offerings definitely going to help with that as we get more money flowing through these digital asset treasuries and ETFs and things. It's going to be flowing, and of course, more money to flow into DeFi yields and get those high yields, right, as the market gets more safe. Clarity Act's the last big deal there, really regarding the regulation of the market, and that means that all the big players can get in from traditional markets, and it's game on, right? So that tokenization theme is the biggest theme in the market, along with AI to AI revenue, as well as creator revenue. So lots of mega themes. Obviously, privacy is a mega theme as well. The stablecoin one's a bit up in arms now, but we'll keep watching that because I still think we're going to get innovation there, and we'll keep watching the stablecoin flows as well, which I suggest will continue on, just maybe not in the same way and the same level as we previously looked. But we'll keep an open question on that as we move forward on the stablecoin theme. But we got here, we got the Scott, Tim Scott. If you don't even know, Tim Scott is a great guy, Republican here, and he's helped pushing the market structure through. It really is one of my favorite politicians there in the United States. So let's hear from him as he's trying to help guide this through. Obviously, we saw some visions of Clarity Act get through after the so-called agreement between banks, non-banks, crypto, and he is help pushing us through. So let's hear from where he thinks it is at the moment, since he's at the front of this.
Chairman, you and I have had many conversations about the Clarity Act.
Yes.
Where are we right now?
Well, Cheryl, this is hard, and it should be hard because this is the first time ever we've tried to deal with such a historic piece of legislation. It will keep America as the most dominant player in the world economically. There's good news, though, Cheryl. The first thing I'd say is that we now have Republicans and Democrats working together on language that they can agree on. The White House agrees on it as well. We have one more step to go. We need the industry to agree on it. So I spoke last night with Coinbase as well. Everyone is still at the table. There is work to be done, but I am really excited about the fact that we finally have Republicans and Democrats agreeing on something really important on the yield conversation. We now have to get industry to buy into this language. This is a threading the needle process. It's always difficult the first time you do it, but it gets better and better and better. And so I'm still very optimistic.
All right, so that is from Tim Scott, and so it's still looking pretty positive as they move forward as well. Apparently, he's obviously talked to the Coinbase, and they said that they're still happy to proceed. Although I did see some things where the Coinbase was not so happy, but he's indicating they are. So we'll watch that progress. Clarity Act is the final hurdle for regulation, and then after that, I suggest to you we're going to get stuff out from the White House around potentially buying altcoin or Bitcoin. Obviously, they've taken budget neutral strategies, so we'll see what comes of that. But I think that will flow after the Clarity Act. So we're going to get more and more stuff bullish from the administration around crypto after. I think it's probably going to happen after the Clarity Act here. And all the institutions, corporates will be able to come in without any problems about regulations. We obviously recently saw the SEC give us clarity around the Howey test and the 5 different categories in terms of commodities and securities, the CFTC and all that sort of stuff. So really this is after that interpretation and with this final regulation here, it's game on. It's game on, guys. And we're already seeing the market already moving, right? It's already moving in anticipation of this. Just like we saw BlackRock come in with the staking ETF and things like that, and it's because they kind of probably knew in the insider stuff around the stablecoin agreement that was going to be made. So this is kind of where we are with this. So really bullish. It's super bullish. We're already seeing a lot of the US states. There are now 13 US states now that are pushing through Bitcoin reserve legislation to buy Bitcoin. So you see what I mean? It's all heading in one direction. It's up and to the right. Well, obviously, we've got short-term issues around the Iranian conflict, but it's better to get rid of the nuclear threat now. It should have been done decades ago, honestly. But we've had liberal and progressive leaders run the West, and they've run it into the ground, right? And so finally, we've got somebody with enough gumption to do it, which is Trump and his administration doing an amazing job there. So let's move forward into the Pulsechain, shall we? Put your hand if you're buying a Pulsechain right now. All-time lows, record all-time lows. We're going to look at the Pulse chart today. But let's get to Richard Hart, the founder of Pulsechain. And he put a little post out earlier. Prices down. Yep, lots of prices are down. Gold down 20%, Bitcoin down 50%, and ETH is down 60%. Should the guy who invented gold be improving his invention? Turns out gold's been around for a long time and has worked fine for a long time. Doesn't stop people from bidding it up and selling it down. You can have the best stuff in the world, and if people choose or have to click red instead of green, you can't program their behavior. You can just keep doing the best you can. It usually works out. I choose to keep working hard instead of cry-fagging. Hashtag cry-fagging usually works there. So there we go. Richard is working hard. A signal to the market, particularly Pulsechains and Hexkins, that he is working hard. And of course, no expectations, but he is not, he's here. He's here and he's playing, he's active, and chess moves are being done. That's what I read from that. So obviously showing the Bitcoin chart there and Ethereum, along with gold as well. And so there we go. That is from Richard Hart earlier today. Interesting little comment there. Now getting to the Pulsechain, we've got day 1050. Can you believe it? Pulsechain, of course, full system state copy of Ethereum on the 10th of May 2023. Launched a couple of days later on the 13th of May 2023. Then got tagged by the SEC on the 31st of May 2023. And then 2 years later, utterly defeated by Richard Hart and his dream team of lawyers on the 7th of July 2025. And here we are in 2026. On day 1050, and we are at all-time lows. We've obviously got the Iranian war on. It's not helping. We've got rotation, risk management, all that stuff playing out right now. We've got cry-faggers out there, as Richard might say, dumping some of their bags at ridiculous lows, and maybe they think they're doing a better play elsewhere. But at any case, this is where we are right now. So Pulse is at 50776, down 10%, double digits today. OMG. Remember, the mean sacrifice price was 0001. is pretty crazy. The whale prices, what were they, 00032 or something? And here we are at 4 zeros, 222, or 333, I think it was, 32, yeah, 4 zeros. And here we are down 10.3%. And we have got a redistribution on. So that's the way I look at it. Obviously, it's down. No one wants it down. But if it's down, think about it. You can lower your DCA, your average price. You can also pick up massive volumes at this range. And eventually, we'll find a bottom because Pulsechain is building. Pulsechain's not going anywhere. We've got the magic carpet ride, lots of other things potentially to lift it up dramatically, I say. We've got a lot of idle stable coins. There's so many things. We've got bullish. We've got developers like Fast Abdul out there building us, top tier blue chip protocols. It's a lot of cool stuff. So Pulsex at the moment is at 50595 OMG, down 6.7%. And then it's got the buy and burn at 8.75%, which is about 9.2, I think, on the Pulsechain stats. We have about 20% of the sacrifice tokens burned already, apparently, the public supply at least of Pulsex. And then we've got Ink token at the moment, 34 cents. Down 7.6%. We've got Hex on Pulsechain at 1300th of a penny, down 9% on Hex on Pulsechain. OMG on that one too. EHEX though, come on, 00053 combined price of EHEX and PX. Dare I say it, is at 00187. So it is unbelievably at 1900th of a penny. Is that the bottom? Question mark, right? Do you buy the bottom? Are you the guy that buys the bottom? Do you talk about it in a couple months' time? Said I bought the bottom. Or not, or are we going lower? That's the other question, right? Are we going lower? That is the question, right? So that's where we are right now at the moment. We've got the gas prices. So look at that, 644,000 beats. We're at 0.2 of a penny for Pulse X swap, so super cheap. We have validators, right? So we talked about this the other day. We lost a big validator. I think what was it, 1,200 validators. Now apparently they've been selling and moving out. So they've probably been a contributor to our all-time low here, but that's 51,000 we got down. We were up at, 53 for a while, 53,200 something, but we definitely had a big seller there, and apparently they've been selling and bridging out. So I guess they're off to a new town, new town, set up a new family, new kids, new car. I don't know. Probably sold their Tesla for an old Buick or something. I don't know. But we got the bridge there at the moment. So we were holding at 70 million yesterday. We're down at 68.7 with Bitcoin and ETH down, obviously. That is where we're sitting right now. A lot of stable coins are sitting there idle. Whose stable coins are they? Well, you can take a good guess probably. But they're just sitting there. So who knows? Activate. We've got such thin liquidity on Pulsechain now. It's ridiculous. Let's go to Pulsechain and have a look at the chart. Here we are on the hourly chart here. We got new all-time lows, and man, we had somebody here cry fag out earlier. They cry fagged. Big volume candle there. $750,000 on the hour, and just in this main pair here for Pulse, we got $1.3 million liquidity left at the moment, down almost 10%. 1.1 million in volume today on 1.3 million liquidity. This is Rat Pulse, of course, the DeFi version of Pulse. And here we are right now. So down, went all the way to new all-time low. Proudly brought to you by the Kryptonite Show, sponsored by the Iranian War. No, we're down. We're down at our new all-time low is now 7,100 OMG. It's an OMG show today because it's pretty crazy. But here we're back. We're bounced back. We're at 7,800 now. Ivan on Tech, of course, he loves talking about the all-time lows on Pulsechain, so he was out there having a good time with that. He wins either way, right? He harvests the community attention, and of course, he also gets to have a good mock and laugh, But, he's probably got a decent bag of Pulsechain, so he's waiting for Pulsechain to rally too. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe he's even buying at this price. Right? So that's the thing. So there we go. That is the old Pulsechain right now on the hourly. Let's go look at the 4-hour view, which is a trader's view, and see where we are. We're well below the 21 moving average here at 8,400. Now, sometimes we tend to, go down to these dips, right? So just like we dipped down here, at 50777. We also dipped down to this 7,100. So the question is, are we going to roll back down to there before we get a bit of a bounce back? We'll see about that. The RSI is very oversold at this level on the 4-hour compared to when we were here. So there might be a reasonable chance that we don't do that and that we actually bounce from here. But key would be getting back over that 21 4-hour moving average there. Let's look at the daily. The daily here at the moment is also about 9100, so we want to definitely get back over that on the daily. That could mean, give the end there. We're not quite fully oversold, so we've still got a little bit of a drift capacity. Potentially could drift down there one more time, but we'll see. Definitely want to get back over 9200 there and assert ourselves as well. But let's have a look at the. Let me get rid of the overlays there. So the 21 moving average there, we want to get back definitely over that. And what was I going to say about this? If we were going to really move higher, like I think I said this when I said the other day, at the moment we're probably looking at 1200, wanting to get over that and start making new highs. Right, we're going to break this downtrend here. We really need to start getting over this 1200 mark essentially. So keep a lookout for the upside. But man, wow, 50778 right now, which is basically $7,800 for every billion. If you want to buy a billion pulse, $7,800 there for that, which is super cheap because that used to cost about $85,000. So that's, if you did the sacrifice, that's how much it would have cost you, about 85K, pick up a billion, and now it costs you 7,800. So it was 7,100 apparently on the dip. So it is a pretty crazy place, and that is a redistribution. If you couldn't say one before, pretty crazy there. Now, what's fair value? Well, market will decide. And perhaps we got rid of a lot of the sacrifices that want to dump. They're all dumping, arguably low. Even the Hexkins, I guess, who sacrificed at high rates. And then also we've also had a lot of those copy contracts like Maker and Compound get exploited and have all sorts of issues. And apparently that's all over, Crypto Solve indicates. So maybe it's we're getting there. And of course now we've got negative market activity with the Iran volatility. So we'll see where we go from here. But I'm sure we're going to find the bottom at some stage, and we'll see how good that is. And we'll have the people in the future that boast about buying the bottom and how much money they've made relative to that. So kind of cool. Like I say, we've still got all the bullish things on the chain. Obviously, we've got all this money coming into crypto from all the majors that we talked about earlier. We've still got all the stable coins sitting on the Pulsechain. We've still got the Magic Carpet Ride, Ethereum. Richard says he's working hard, so he's last year he said I'm working on the Pulsechain altcoin season. So if you're in that camp that believes in Richard, he's got all these different levers, and if ETH goes up obviously past 37.73, then the Magic Carpet Ride money's in the money. And of course, if we get to anything like Tom Lee's 12,000, 20,000 in this bull market ahead, then obviously that's going to be worth billions and billions. And imagine just shaving even a little bit off there, let alone the idle stable coins, is could pump Pulsechain to all sorts of crazy numbers, especially after getting rid of a lot of the weak hands over the last 1,050 days. So that's the perspective that we've got there. So obviously you can agree with that or not, and if you don't, then you should be looking at somewhere else, going to the ETH or something like that. So the opportunities abounds here. But on thin liquidity, you can get some pretty big X's. So let's have a look at some of those in reflection of some of the X's that are potentially in the market when we do rebound. Obviously, we're in this big negative downs trend here. Try and hunt for the bottom. But if we get that the reverse there, and I've talked about some of the fundamentals for that, we could get some gains, right? So we've had weeks. This is the weekly candles. We had a lot of weeks here, 7 weeks, where we got 150%, 2.5x. In 7 weeks, 49 days. So they're definitely there, right? So once we get a rebound, we can definitely get some nice rallies. This one here was 6 weeks, 42 days. We got almost a 3x there, and so forth. So, and I think off the bottom, it could be very severe, maybe a 3 to 5x before we get some selling and rotate out. So, it could be pretty crazy there. Let me go have a look up more. We got this one here. Obviously, we had a 84% there in 21 days. With this one here, we had 180% inside 84 days, 12 weeks, and that's a 2.8x. So there definitely is a chance for rebounds here, especially off the low bottom there. Could be pretty glorious. Obviously, you typically face resistance when you get up to 2-3x, and then you have to see where it comes back to before you try and push it back up again. So we're going to have a bit of that. That's what the parabolic's all about. We're looking for that uptrend reversal, right? So at the moment, you've got to break that 1,200 mark US dollar wise to do that. And here we are potentially at all-time lows. So some crazy stuff. But this is where the big bags, you can become a whale now on Pulsechain much easier. So you don't need 85 $1,000 like you did in the SAC, you can now do it for 7,700 apparently, to buy a billion Pulse. I wish I could buy more. All my money is going towards diesel at the moment. Yeah, well, that's true. Australian prices are crazy. Yeah, apparently 500 petrol stations now at least they've run out of petrol, and of course a lot of those probably independents. But I did see that the government tax on it's been reduced by 50% under a lot of pressure from One Nation and other places like that. So there we go. Bring in One Nation. They're doing all the common sense policies. Get rid of the Labour, man. The crazy people. All right, so that's kind of the play right now. That is where we are on Pulse. Let's have a look at the total markets at the moment. We've obviously got not many things are green, so this is the DEX screener view. We've got $7.3 million excluding the balance of fork volumes, and which is at least 2 of those, and we've got 320,000 transactions at the moment. We only got 2 main DEXs, PulseX and 9mm, and that's doing most of the volume. And of course we've got a number of DEX aggregators operating on Pulsechain that are doing a great job, from Liberty Swap to Switch through to Petius, and there's quite a few others out there. So that's kind of the play. We've got Phoenix at the moment up 1.5% on there, so it's not doing too bad. I'm just going to look at the volume here because I always get tricked out. Yeah, that volume's false, so we'll ignore Phoenix here for the moment. What about the volume here? Oh, they're all negative. What the heck? Let me just make sure I'm on the right things here. What's all the volumes here? All dead volumes. The top 3 here, all dead volumes here. So just ignore all those. We're trying to... What the heck is going on here? A lot of the ones that are up at the moment actually got the pretty low volumes there. We've got Ink Dollar at the moment. This Professor's Die. This is only got $1,000 in volume. Let me just switch that volume around there to see what's going on. Okay, cool. I thought there was a glitch in the matrix. They're so small. Look at them all. We've got little baby moves on little volumes, so they're virtually not even worth talking about. But let's have a look. Everything else is in the red, right? So Pulsechain's down US dollars wise, so that's the big deal there. That's why they're all down so severely. And in fact, what do we have Pulsechain down? Let me go check that again. I should have memorized it. 13.5%. Oh no, 10%. 10%, yeah. 10%. So anything worse than 10% is not as doing as well as Pulse. So let's go all the way down to 10%. Approximately, yeah. So we got what's that? 20 coins, 20 pairs, I should say, doing worse than Pulse right now. So 20 pairs doing worse than Pulse. So they're all down, and Peacock seems to be at the break-even point there, ironically enough. So people are discounting Peacock quite hard at the moment, and it's probably the best project on Pulsechain. So we'll see what happens to that. Maybe sometimes that builds up that pent-up demand, and we'll watch that grow. Now it does have DEX kind of vibes, but it's also a bridge, right? So it's not just completely solved that, but obviously if everyone thinks that Pulsechain's down, then bridge values arguably maybe, and then of course the DEX values as well. I guess that's the way you could value Peacock in the short term. But that's kind of the play there. We've got vouchers down. All these will be down, 9mm. So all the DEX aggregators are really struggling with Pulse being down. Obviously reversal will reverse the values with these blue chips. Like I say, we've only got a couple of dynamic projects at the moment that are large blue chips that could re-rate. Liberty Swap is one of those. And then we've got some new ones launching like Vouch 369 from Fast Abdul. Keep a lookout for that. But look at this at the moment. Liquid Loans, which was doing a little bit okay, is down 18%. Wow. And of course, Liquid Loans is collateralized against Pulse, guys. Liquidity Fork. It is the biggest liquidity fork at the moment. It is down, down. Even Coin Mafia, kind of a pump tires multi-chain version, is down 15% right now. Provex right now is down 15%, and it is at 4079 as well. So these are all down right now. ZKP from Kairos there, Emmett Farms, that is down 13%, following Provex, right? So a leverage play essentially on that. Volume down to 4.7k. That's kind of the marks there. So a lot of these ones are all down with the privacy technology, and yeah, the DEXs aggregators down. Peacock sitting about break even on against Pulse. So that's pretty much it as we were. Let's have a look at that chart there at the moment. Now, yeah, so there we are on the old, we've got the ZKX wallet coming, and that's where we're going to spend most of our time, is on Liberty Swap at the moment, because they're the ones that are building out a massive DeFi protocol at the frontier of DeFi. So let's go check out what they've been up to today, because they are really dropping us a lot of the alpha at the moment. All right, so let's have a look at Peacock with the old Liberty Swap. So Peacock is the official token of Liberty Swap. and Liberty Swap is ramping up constantly. And of course, the price will typically move a bit later, right? Later than when we get all of this news, as people digest what's going on, right? So let me just scroll back up here. Probably 12 hours ago, we had an issue they solved. So they're always solving technical issues as they come due, and very transparent about it, which is great, right? Now, this is what's opening up. We're talking about the ZKX wallet. We see that in the chart that's coming up. Now, they will be opening up for public testing next month. The best thing about ZKX wallet, now I must apologize because yesterday on my live stream I put XKZ, I think was what I put on the wallet, so I apologize for that. Easily happens when you're drifting. The best thing about the ZKX wallet is that after testing software for years, I find it quite good and comprehensive. It natively supports all EVM chains and Railgun. So we've got a normal wallet now combined with the best privacy technology all in one. And so we're at the frontier here with Liberty Swap. It is fantastic. It is fantastic there. And the crypto says I agree 100%. Yeah. I think we're talking about the One Nation there, I think. Hardware wallets. Ledger hardware wallet and Treasure hardware wallet will be supported from day one. So for those with the hardware wallets, that's fantastic news. It is also fully open source, which is great. Liberty X. And now just remember, Liberty X there is the kind of the DEX aggregating from any tokens there. Liberty Shield with your privacy, and a Liberty Swap there with the bridging will be default services. So pretty cool, along with other service providers. So what does the hell that mean? Watch out for this team. This team is full of tricks and pretty big. Now, as we've said many times, this vision of Liberty Swap seems to align very much with Richard Hart's roadmap and vision. What's the connection? Is there a connection? They seem to be very well funded. They always seem to be able to get money, comes out of nowhere. It's a pretty interesting team. Highly professional, highly intelligent, super fast developers. This can only be a top tier team, a top notch team globally. These guys are so good at what they do. They have very little issues after launching tokens and after launching new technology. It's been surprisingly, there's no big, how did you make that mistake? They normally are just doing technical fixes or technical this or upgrading UI, UX has been impressive, right? Been impressive there. And the big thing is they keep doing what they're saying, and then they say more things that are new, and they keep doing those too. So it's pretty impressive, and they're building out a massive DeFi ecosystem, not just on Pulsechain, but that is multi-chain, and of course based around privacy and trading, lending, everything else. Liberty Swap V2, I always got to remind, enables them to hook in new DeFi. So all sorts of DeFi products that can hook into the ecosystem, just expanding the value proposition and making it so easy to use, a one-stop shop, as it were, and it is a juggernaut in the making. So pretty exciting there. Now, we've got a little sneak peek here of the wallet that they're going to public testing next month. So that's April we're talking about. And they've got a little example of the wallet here. They'll probably make some UI changes. They've had some suggested already around apps and rewards, moving those down to the next token, next menu here. Well, let's call it the sub menu here with tokens, NFTs, DeFi, and activity. So you might find that those end up dropping down. We'll see. But they've got Send, Shield, and Swap Bridge. I actually like them up here, honestly. Apps and bridge. I do see them as kind of different from these features. But actually, they're kind of cool. I don't know, maybe they just need to do another color in there and put apps and rewards or something like that. I don't know. You would do that if the apps was related to rewards, maybe. But look, these guys are probably coming up with staking and rewards and trading fees and all sorts of stuff is coming into here. It's going to attract a lot of capital, I would argue, in the future there. The other thing is I have suspect, just based on a couple of comments they've made, that they might end up doing some big marketing plan as well. They're obviously I think they're already doing a little bit of potential paid marketing. I won't say too much what I think about that, but it's pretty interesting, right? So we've got the wallet here, multi-chain wallet. It's going to have all the goodies. And, for Pulsechain guys, we need more wallets. Internet Money Wallet is obviously the other big juggernaut platform on Pulsechain. They're on 40 blockchains. They're on all the major platforms like Apple and Google. They're doing 177 countries. They really make that Pulsechain is everywhere technically via that. And of course, it's a fantastic wallet. They're always improving the user experience, the user interface. Adding rich features, multi-chain, all the good stuff. You earn from the time dividend on multiple chains. You earn revenue there, so it's pretty cool. And Pulsechain's at the bottom. So imagine when you get the reversal, they've had about 110,000 downloads or something, and that seems to be getting bigger. They're kind of, once you get bigger, it sort of starts racing away. And this is in a bear market conditions. And so and they're looking to get API connection into Liberty Swap too. So it's pretty awesome stuff there. And so they're doing great. So we're going to have this too. So it's going to be pretty awesome. They're going to have APIs as well. So that's going to help them extend their reach as well. So some good stuff there on that at the moment. Rhinify says open source hardware wallet support from day one, native EVM and railgun build-in. ZKX isn't just a wallet, it's the private infrastructure layer Pulsechain has been missing. Public testing next month, and spec sheet already looks like the best wallet in the ecosystem. Now, this is going to be pretty exciting. Now, one thing I want to say about this is that they still, with Liberty Swap, you can actually do trading onto SVM chains as well, like Solana. So that's a cool feature, man. I mean, for those that like to interact with EVM, SVM chains and want to do swaps, that's great. Otherwise, you have to do swap here, bridge over here, and it's just annoying, right? It's just annoying. And so this is making it very, very easy just to operate multi-chain. And that's a lot of value, guys. There's a lot of value in that because people get sick of having this, send here and then do a swap and then, it's making it a lot easier. So these guys are really on the front there. So it's good comments there at the moment. I'm so excited for this. My birthday, April 22nd. Will it be out by the team? Absolutely, we will do our best to make this work. So we'll see how it goes. But we're probably looking, testing probably won't be that long. So definitely could be in for a formal public sort of commercial launch from public testing in April. So I wouldn't be surprised about that at all. So some good stuff happening there. Just having a look at a few of these comments. Often they have a lot of good comments here. We'll expand aggressively and capture mind share, I should say. So kind of cool. Will it support native immutable ownerless automated stable assets? Of course, by the end of the day, we'll have a framework for asset support across all Liberty products. Now, one of the things we've seen them add recently is USD1, right, from the Trump Foundation family. So that's been pretty cool. Count me in on a beta testing. Everyone's keen. Kind of cool. So, pretty positive response there, right? Pretty positive response there from the team. So nice stuff happening there with Liberty X. And of course, I think a lot of people are going to adopt that wallet, honestly. Now, there are other wallets out there, but they don't show US dollars and things like that, OKX and stuff, Ravi wallet, you got to add in all the custom stuff. Even though some of them got good UIs, user experiences there. And then, so Internet Money wallet looking good. We're going to have another strong wallet here with Liberty Swap. I think it's going to be huge. I think they're going to get great adoption there, certainly. And then we've also got Ramp Now, right? Ramp Now is working on a wallet, another one of our bridges. They've been really great. They're working on a wallet, so we're looking for that. And so, I think Pulsechain's going to end up with a good selection of wallets, which is one of the areas that we need a lot of development in, right? So it's great having Internet Money Wallet. They've done all the right things. They're amazing. But some people like different user experiences, different features, and of course Liberty Swap there being what I would call the other top tier team on Pulsechain is giving us a lot of this too. So it's fantastic, and of course with the privacy, right? For the privacy and making it not just the whales using privacy features, but retail being able to use it quite easy. So it's gonna be fun times. And then marketing, get it out there, and more people find out. We've definitely seen them do some marketing so far. And I think it's going to hopefully go big stuff there. So kind of cool. Now let's just scroll up here. I'm just scrolling up at some of these. What's this one here? Two random example. So CryptoSolve, talking about the price being down there for Pulsechain. Provided it bounces, this would have been a nice range to have limit orders set. Yeah, that's right. So, how we've just had Liberty Swap yesterday launched limit orders. We covered that yesterday. We've had Curve, of course, launch limit orders using the Switch API from Brandon's Switch. aggregator. And of course, if you put a limit on it here, you probably could have caught some of that, right? So that would have been pretty cool. So yeah, that's the kind of where it is. You would have caught that and then get a bounce on it. I mean, particularly if you had it down here and you managed to get that filled, that order filled, then yeah, you could have made a nice little gain there. The power of limit orders, limit orders there. So that's kind of cool from them. Oh, what else? Oh, I've gone too far back now. I've lost Liberty Swap. 2 hours ago, you can always buy low and sell high with our new limit orders. And I can't estimate, only just launched yesterday. 0 fees, non-custodial, secret order book, MEV protection, and guaranteed best price. If you find a better price elsewhere, let us know. So there we go. So we've had a couple of new products there from Switch with limit orders / Curve, and now of course Liberty Swap with their own limit orders. So kind of cool. Great if you want to pick up dips or sell at pumps. Great if you're sleeping overnight and you're a little bit nervous about something. You want to get some risk management. Set some limit orders on the buy or sell. So that's kind of some of the features. And of course, I did a post about that with 6 strategies that you can use limit orders. So you can find that on my main channel there. I looked for it. I showed it yesterday on the live stream. Took me a little while to find, but just type in what was it, limit orders, and it might probably come up on my profile. Maybe we'll do that. All right, so let's jump out of here. So that was kind of cool. Limit orders are here, guys, and that's the maturity of Pulsechain, right? Having more limit order options. I'm not sure how many we've got now in total. But certainly having some of the bigger protocols having them is really handy since there's a lot of users on those. But we do have some, I think, a couple other limit order options as well. Some limit order options are subject to maybe a DEX that's just limiting to their LPs, but got limit orders on across DEX aggregators. That's normally pretty powerful. So you're going to get a better rate, right? Too. That's the other side of using limit orders, getting best rates with the best features. Gasless too, was it? Gasless, I think it was. Gasless. Now let's go to, that's pretty much it from Liberty Swap. So limit orders here, that was from yesterday. Pretty awesome. And you can see a picture of that there. Kind of cool. You pay, you receive, and the example here using PDI, which I thought was a terrible example, but it's there. All right, let's jump in here. I'm going to type in limit orders on my profile if I can. Where's the search button here? Let me find. Where's my search button here? Let's see if I can find my article that I posted. Limit orders. See if it works. Use the search button, but let's see how it goes. Here we go. There we go. So top 6 limit audit strategies you can use on Pulsechain. You can buy the dip, place buy limit orders below current price, which was what you could have done for Pulse, right? Take profits, sell at resistance, sell limit orders above the current price. And no, it's got some guides there generally at 5 to 20%. Scaling in dollar cost averaging with limits, place multiple buy limits. So you can do multiple limit orders at progressively lower prices, particularly if you think the market's really weak, and you can buy, hopefully pick up all those deals. Scaling out, partial profit taking, so place several sell limit orders at higher price levels to sell portions of your position as price rises, so you can do that. Grid range trading, set a grid of buy limits below and sell limits above the current price, repeatedly buying low and selling high in sideways markets. So if they had a market going zigzagging sideways, that could work out pretty well. Obviously, some people automate those with bots to do that. Volatility protection and disciplined entries. Use limit orders instead of market orders in choppy crypto markets to avoid slippage and overpaying during pumps or dumps. So that may be something that happens there as well. Key principle to use limit orders when price control is greater than speed of execution. And limit orders give precision and remove emotion, but risk non-execution if price never reaches your level. Now, obviously, not all limit orders have all the same features and abilities. So getting really good limit order technology is very, very cool. And yeah, maybe Liberty Swap and Switch both fit in that category, offering those high execution features there. They will actually execute, for example. Now, tip: combine the basic TA support resistance for better placement in terms of trying to take profits by the dips and things like that. So there's a couple of little tips there. You can find that just by typing in limit orders there for that. So what else? Let's post that in there if you want to have a look at that article I posted. What else have we got here? Only Crypto says, do you think RH is still going to bring out his wallet? Well, that's the position. You hold the position there that he will do his own wallet. You're talking about Magic make upright stuff. I don't think his own crypto he would use. So obviously he was Bitcoin mining back in March 2011, back with the OGs. These are OGs. And, presumably he's holding all that Bitcoin. And so he could be one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin, private holders of Bitcoin in the world. It's definitely plausible. He was also mining Ethereum in 2016, which wouldn't have been as great, but he's still doing that. And so he's probably got his own private big bag of ETH as well. And then, of course, he had the AA lobby, AA lobby of Hex. Obviously, Hex did 13 parabolics. So, question mark how much Hex is there. He did mention one time of a million Ethereum going through there. So, there was a lot of recycling going on. So I'm not sure who's done some really good work on that, but even if it's a fraction of that, it's still a hell of a lot of ETH, probably more ETH than the Pulsechain and Pulsechain sacrifice, because ETH was really cheap back then, remember? So especially after COVID, or what, it dropped down to $93 or something like that. So yeah, we got all that going on right now with Richard. So, and then of course he's got the Pulsechain and Pulsex sacrifice money, right? So that was what, about 650 million excluding the X or something. So, and now that's in ETH, right? And that was at $3,773 approximately, which is well out of the money at the moment. So you won't necessarily be using that anytime soon. Talk about in this Christmas video, I think it was last year, about $10,000 ETH was the first time he kind of gave a number that he found attractive. So that could be definitely one of the big chess moves in the future. Even just shaving it off, shaving some ETH off. Alternatively, he could do something even more exotic there, bringing capital over, collateralizing it, fractionalizing it with products. That's always possible. You could do more sacrifice things, taking in Richard Art cores, using those to maybe firm up a stable coin or a wallet or something. Obviously, maybe Liberty Swap is that solution. We'll find out. Yeah, we've got more stuff coming. Now, one of the things that Liberty Swap teased a couple of days ago around the Clarity Act was that that we had Hex as a yield offering token, but that another token was coming with a yield offering. So there's question marks over that, whether it was going to be was it XKP or whatever the wallet name. I always forget the letters, but XKP, or people thinking about a new collateralized dollar, but with multiple tokens. We'll see. But we know that Richard can move markets when he creates his own products, and some things might be liked even more. So if ProveX was kind of seen as interesting, and he could raise 20 million plus on that, maybe something that collateralizes all the Richard cores is going to be way more popular. I would suspect it will be, and we could see a lot of people throwing that, especially with the price down so low. People might not value the cores as much, and so they just throw them all into a new protocol. And that would be pretty interesting. And I think we'd see that would itself help the value of the cores, but also, if he does do another software other than ProveX, like a wallet or a stable coin or whatever he decides to do, could be pretty interesting as well. So he's got a lot of chess moves he can make, and it's going to be fun to see whether it's on the financial side, the software side, the marketing side, obviously, and how those interrelate at the moment. He certainly last year dealt with inflation around Hex and incentive token with the PulseX. That'd be pretty interesting. We've got the Master Chef contract hanging out there as well around a DAO, whether he does anything with that too. There's lots of things that he could potentially move, and we definitely saw him making multiple moves last year. So fun times ahead. So you're either in the believe camp, and it might take twice as long as you imagine. Instead of 2 years, it might take 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? Like it takes for the magic carp ride to happen. And last man standing is basically gets rewarded, right? Last man standing gets rewarded. And no cry fagging, apparently. No cry fagging. And Richard Hart today has indicated he is working. He is working. So Bitcoin is down, ETH is down, gold is down, but he is working. So there we go. That's for those that are in the believe camp, that is a good substantiation of that. Right, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I've enjoyed it. It's even though the price is down, it's a wonderful time to pick up massive bags, especially on Pulsechain right now. And of course, we're looking forward to the bull market ahead. The fundamentals are fantastic. They're outstanding, excluding obviously geopolitical conflicts It is outstanding moving forward for the crypto markets and blockchain. The rest of the world is coming over. Traditional markets coming over. And we've been showing that every single day, every single week with all the updates. Now, if you haven't joined the Strategy Club, I highly recommend it. I'm posting in tons of intel there constantly all day. It's a great education. It's great showing all the trends, all the big things happening, and some of the best quality assets to potentially consider. So if you haven't done that, the link's in the video description. Just over $1 a day to join up to that. Pinned to the top of X as well. You can go through the Whoop store and then sign up. Get your link into the Discord for the Strategy Club, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. We have great conversations as well. It's exciting times, guys. This is when it's the most fear, when the fear's there. Can accumulate over the next few weeks potentially. We've already had a couple good weeks. Next few weeks, great. And maybe by the time we get out through April, May, could be absolutely, move on. We've got the Clarity Act, may get passed in April, May. Maybe May is not sell in May. Maybe May is getting ready for the second half of the year, which I think is going to be truly a great moment for crypto. And we'll probably have a lot of these issues behind us, and it's only good times. High GDP, managed inflation, lower interest rates, massive M2 supply money printing, and so good fiscal management. It's going to be great. And of course, the manufacturing index plus 50. Rising there as well. It's all looking pretty damn good. Rotation, gold, silver, all the money coming in from the private sector market, finance markets, building out of the new financial vision by Tom Lee with Mr. Beast and Sam Altman and Orbs and everything else going out there. OpenAI, it is game on. So look forward to it. It's going to be great. You got multiple players all in one. We're over lucky. We're over lucky here, and we've got a low base. Accumulate from and just ride up the magic carpet ride. And then of course on Pulsechain we got the addition of Richard Hart and the magic carpet ride there too. So it's a double triple whammy. I mean, it's just the endless goodness goes on and on and on. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys again tomorrow. I may do a small video today, we'll see how we go, but other than that, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, hit the follow button, and show me the money, as they say. Show me the money. All right, take care, every guys, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.